had our first date. He was like the perfect gentleman.
He was Mr. Popular. Every girl wanted to be with him.
We were dancing all night and having a really fun time. He asked me to homecoming.
Within time, he started becoming a little possessive.
He would tell me to shut up, that he didn't care about what I was talking about, that I was stupid.
He started telling me who I could hang out with and who I couldn't hang out with.
And I was honest with him. I just told him, I don't want to be with you. He wouldn't accept me saying that.
He started doing little things like shoving me.
We were at a party one night and he got really drunk.
And he hit me with an open fist and hit me right here on my face, and it damaged my tear duct.
I flew across the room, hit my head on the wall, and got a concussion.
I hit the floor so many times that I had a bruise like this size on my back.
No one had called the police because drugs and alcohol was there and they didn't want to get in trouble.
And I look over at our daughter, I see her. I don't like this whole scene in front of her.
He was telling me, you know, we'll always be together. If I didn't love you, I wouldn't have hit you.
He's my daughter's father. I still love him. I can't call the police.
He bought flowers and told me it was because he was drunk and he would never hurt me, and so we got back together.
He made me who he wanted me to be.
I couldn't see it as unacceptable because I didn't know what abuse was.
I see a lot of relationship abuse among teenagers. It's not always of the physical kind where people are putting their hands on each other, but it's of the kind where they're being emotionally destructive to one another. I see it in all kinds of relationships. I see it between best girlfriends. I see it between girls and guys who aren't dating but just talking and getting to know each other.
Unhealthy relationships occur in any neighborhood, in any socioeconomic status, at any age. It can touch anybody. There's several different red flags for an unhealthy relationship. Is the other person controlling? Does the other person try to isolate them from their friends? Sometimes we also see aggressive behaviors, hitting the other person, shoving them, pinching them. The victim might have low self-esteem, depression. They might appear to be anxious. They might start to feel a little bit uneasy at the thought of spending time with their boyfriend or girlfriend. They have this need for acceptance, so they will try to do whatever the other person wants them to do.
Offenders can come in all shapes and sizes and all ages, and it starts very young, especially in intimate violence. The word intimacy implies something very important, and that is the privilege of knowing other things about someone close to you that you can then use as a weapon.
They have a memory like a camera. When they see mom and dad arguing in a way that's loud and dramatic and storming out of the house and slamming doors, well, that to them is how people solve conflicts and relate to each other in conflicts, and that is what then they behave like when they are also angry and in an emotional relationship with folks. Kids need to see parents resolve the conflicts, and that's something I don't think that they see often enough.
It's very important that parents do have conversations about healthy relationships with their children, and I think these conversations should start as early as possible.
I think parents need to start conversations about healthy relationships with their children when their children are having friendship conflicts. Parents need to teach children to say, I think, I want, I like, I don't like, out loud to their friends, and they can practice it with their parents.
If they're raised in that idea that boundaries are part of a relationship, that sets a foundation not only for respect for others, but respect for oneself.
It can be difficult for many parents to sit down and have a conversation with their son or daughter about being in an unhealthy relationship. Some parents may have never experienced an unhealthy relationship. Other parents may be a part of an unhealthy relationship themselves, and they might have difficulty addressing the topic with their son or daughter because they have had difficulty themselves and they don't know how to tell their child what to do about such a relationship.
Hello, I'm Jessica, and I'm going to be here to help guide you through this very difficult conversation with your child. As you watch the following guided conversation, keep in mind this is just an example. The conversation you have with your child may be different, but this lesson will demonstrate the tools you will need to make your conversation a success.
So, how are things?
Fine.
Okay, so you got a one-word response, but don't give up. Keep trying. This time just ask a more specific question.
How are Sarah and Dell?
They're okay, I guess. Why do you ask?
Are they still together, going out? What do you call it these days?
It's called going out, and they're still together, but I don't really know what she sees in him.
All right, this is a red flag, a great opportunity to continue the discussion and also get her perspective on her friend's relationship. The less judgmental you are, the more she's going to open up to you.
What's his deal?
He's always checking her text messages, and he never lets her have any privacy.
Those are red flags of an abusive relationship. Now you want to ask your daughter what her opinion is and why she thinks Dell is acting this way. Now is when you want to listen very carefully.
Why do you think he does that?
Well, I guess he would probably say that it's because he loves her, but it's so unfair because he's the only one who gets to spend any time with her.
Oftentimes, young people confuse controlling behaviors as love, and jealousy and constantly needing to keep tabs on a person is not love. That's a way to have power and control over an individual. So now's the time to ask, why do you think Sarah stays with Dell?
That doesn't sound like any fun at all. Why do you think she stays with him?
Probably because she thinks she loves him. And also because they have a really fun time together, and he has a lot of older, cool friends, and so she likes that.
Although those are great things that he's done for her, it's important to make sure that she knows not to ignore the more negative things, because oftentimes if they are ignored, those abusive behaviors can get much worse. So let's find out if Kaylee thinks this is healthy in a relationship.
You wouldn't want to be in a relationship like that, would you?
Well, I guess not, because she really has changed a lot since she started dating him. She's really not the same person anymore.
Oftentimes, unhealthy relationships take a direct effect on people's self-esteem, so they're not going to be as social or as happy as they used to be, and oftentimes they're going to try and cover it up. Now would be a wonderful opportunity to ask Kaylee about her relationship with her boyfriend.
So, how are things with you and Nick?
We're actually doing really good. You know, there's no drama or anything like that. He's not constantly checking up on me and things, so we're doing really good. We're happy.
Now you can breathe a sigh of relief. Just remember that this isn't the last conversation you're going to be having with Kaylee. It's very important to continue to be supportive, non-judgmental, and continue to keep the lines of communication open with her.
I think we spend a lot of time talking about what unhealthy relationships are, but we don't teach people the skills to have healthy relationships.
Some of the things that are part of a healthy relationship include being able to trust one's boyfriend or girlfriend or friend, because they also need to be respected, valued, and it is important that the other person believe in them and allow them to have their independence to do whatever they want as long as they are still part of the relationship.
We hope we've given you the tools and information you'll need to ensure your child has healthy relationships. However, if you know of someone experiencing an unhealthy relationship and you'd like to talk to someone about it, we urge you to contact Turning Point at 610-437-3369.
After I appeared on Dr. Phil, I had 4 girls come up to me who were in my grade and tell me their stories. And I've even had guys come up to me and tell me that they're in an abusive relationship with a girl.
I just woke up. After being blind for some years, it was like I just said, you know, I really don't need this.
Even if I think about it today, I don't remember what mind frame I was in to get up out of bed and call my mom and say, I need to tell you something. We did something about it, and then I learned that it was an abusive relationship.
Most people push it aside and don't really bring it up, but people need to realize how wrong it is and how it needs to stop.